How's everybody doing today? It's the Digital Replacement Podcast here for episode 1 over artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, or AI for short, has been a hot topic over the last year. Conversation ranged to ways to incorporate in our daily lives and how we should get rid of AI. All of this can and mostly is very confusing, which is why I have a guest here that can give us some insight on AI and how it should properly be used with some examples to help us and give us a better understanding of AI. His name is
Greg Franseth.
And Greg, what do you do here at Butler Tech?
I am the Executive Director of Information Technology here at Butler Tech.
Give us a brief description on what you do.
So I've been working with different AIs for a decade or more. I was at Cincinnati Children's where they have a very large AI project that's been going on for years.
How do you think AI is going to evolve in school?
So AI is going to fundamentally transform what school is, but it's not the first time that's happened.
Right.
Every time we have these major technological innovations, it changes the basics of how we teach. Certainly what I hear a lot about is any classrooms where there is a lot of writing, whether that is essays or research papers, a lot of concern that someone can just go to ChatGPT and have it write it for them.
Right.
And what I often say is that that's absolutely true. And it is a problem given the way we've taught.
Right.
But if you think about something like a research paper, most of us do not leave high school to go and be scientists where
Right.
we're writing these extensive papers. But the skills we learn by writing research papers, we do use. So the learning to write a research paper has always been about developing those skills. So we may have to change the means we use to get kids those skills fundamentally to take into account the new technology with generative AI.
Right, yeah, because you could just have a whole essay printed out to you in the matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Honestly, AI helps with a lot of time going into work, and it could just help you just get whatever you need like that. But at the same time, as you're saying, it does not help you work on the skills of writing. Like It takes away everything. And honestly, what it gives you is actual other website, and that's not even most of the time it doesn't even give you what you really need. But it's I think it's too for professional.
I was gonna say, I think there's two things I tweak in what you're saying. One, with generative AI, it's not giving you anything specifically from somewhere else. It is actually creating something new because it's learning to use language based on something called a large language model. When any of these are outputting something, that's not content that exists anywhere in the world. It is based on what it is from it, which for ChatGPT was the entirety of the internet. The second piece is that the quality of the output can be the range of really the same quality you can get from asking the question of a stranger on the street. If you don't know what you're asking, or if you just make a vague request, you'll get pretty poor quality answers. So there's a lot of interest right now in people who know how to ask these large language models good questions to get high quality responses.
Okay, so AI is very powerful, is what your point is. I haven't really used AI, only really vaguely ChatGPT. I don't really trust teachers can run it through a scanner and see if AI has been used. So I just don't even try to mess with it now because everybody's used it. It's so popular now.
I'll interject to tell you, I use it almost daily, and I send out a newsletter every Friday to our leadership staff, and I absolutely use it in writing that. Often the pieces I'm using it includes sections like tech tips. I can sit and brainstorm forever,
right.
But it's a lot easier to go ChatGPT.
Right, it just gives you it
First time I said, give me some easy to use tech tips for schools. Well, I used those up, and then what I could do is I could give it the ones I'd already used and say, I've already used these, give me some more. And because it's learning based on what I give it, it's not going to repeat itself, and it's going to give me new stuff and often things that will build on what I went for. So that's one way it can be used. But your skepticism is warranted because, again, it's creating this, which means it can, what we call hallucinate. It can give you facts that don't exist. Famously, if you ask for citations, it will make up whole articles that do not exist because that's what it does. Remember I said it's making it up? It'll make that stuff up too. You always need your human brain to be skeptical and to check and make sure this is achieving the goal. Like any tool, is it doing what you want it to do?
I really appreciate you for coming on the podcast and giving your ideas on AI and also your intellect on AI because I really didn't know.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity and enjoyed the conversation.
Gave
Thank
us
you.
a lot of good information. I really appreciate it. And this is the Digital Replacement Podcast, the host, Vinny, with our interviewer,
Greg Franseth.
Thank you again and have a good one always.